Esthesis means rudimentary sensation, and it is a term that we got inspired by Elvin Jones's synesthesia, with the idea that everyone has a different experience. So our experience of the world is subjective, but there is something rudimentary under that that does connect everybody, and that's where we make music from.
And we came together as a band during quarantine. Dawn and Elsa reached out to do a composition workshop project over Zoom, and we were looking for a bass player, and I thought Emma would be perfect to join this group, and it evolved from there.
It was a welcome and interesting and different project to be a part of. Something remote that still felt like it was bringing us together.
Then, in August of 2021, we all traveled to LA, where some of us met for the first time in person. We did a couple concerts, one at Sam First and one at like a backyard house concert, and had a quick rehearsal. And then we went to the studio and we recorded enough music for 2 records.
So each of us come from a city in a very different part of the country. I'm in Los Angeles.
I'm in Chicago.
I'm in New York.
I'm in Denver.
And we're all pulling our identities from our different communities and coming together to create a really interesting synergy that represents all different parts of the country.
I brought a tune called Cricket to this band, and sometimes you write something and you don't know where its home is, right? Where it's going to live or who it was meant for. And it's a tune I wrote for my daughter. When you're carrying a person inside and you're growing a person, there's a very special bond. And she moved quite a bit. And so this tune is called Cricket. And I wrote it inspired by those movements, and it's found its home in this band.
I love how fearless each of us are in our approach to our instrument, and willing to abandon the norm of the function of what our instrument usually does. And we're willing to take chances and go places in a piece that don't necessarily follow traditional constructs. It's a very adventurous group of artists.
I brought a tune. It's called 2 Moons, and it is based on the life, and it's kind of a tribute to a member of the Cheyenne Nation named 2 Moons, and he fought in the Battle of Little Bighorn in Montana. I'm from Montana, so that's part of the connection. And then he became a chief of the Cheyenne tribe, and he met with President Woodrow Wilson to try to improve conditions on the reservation. And he was also one of the models that the Buffalo Nichols was modeled after.
One of the pieces I brought in is called The Gardener, and it's this sort of abstract ballad that plays with angularity and texture, and then locks into place like a simple, more traditional ballad. And I love the way that we're able to float freely through time and then lock into place and then leave it. There's so much trust in this group. It's really fun.
One of my favorite things that happens in this project is when I bring a tune in, it changes a lot. And I love coming in and being like, here's an idea, and just seeing what you all do with that and what you run with and what you choose to leave behind. It's a really exciting experience. And my tune, We Watched It All Burn, was kind of a perfect example of that, because the parts that were written were very loose and very open. But then the instructions I gave in terms of I want it to feel like fire, I want there to be embers, I want there to be a crackle, but I want it to be able to explode at any moment. Being able to give conceptual direction and have it go in all these ways that I didn't expect was one of my favorite things about this project.
And the art we used for our first record is by a Los Angeles painter named Jessalyn Brooks. She's originally from Cleveland, Ohio, went to University of Michigan. I met her about 11 years ago in LA. She was coming to jam sessions and sitting in as a vocalist, and she's an incredible dancer and just a true bohemian, and has done a lot of mural work around LA, and her art embraces feminine form and really just builds around the naturalness of women. And the cover has these women with these orbs, these 4 orbs that look like moons, and I just thought it played in so well to the music that we put together for the first album.
And I honestly didn't know how you played.
Really?
Yeah. And I never had heard Emma. And it's so beautiful to hear the personality and vigor and strength and personality that you bring in Emma. I mean, I've heard Elsa and I know Elsa, but she still blows my mind and surprises me. But that was like the very first time I got to play with both of you was like, what? Oh my God. I had no idea.
Yay! Thank you for saying that, because you could say other things. Then I guess we wouldn't be here.